Hey, hi everyone, welcome to this week's webinar. So for today's session, we are going to be talking about custom indicators and EAs. We'll give about 2 more minutes or about 1 more minute to let more people join the session because I can still see some people coming in. So in the meantime, let me know if you guys can see me and hear me clearly, and we'll go ahead and get started in about a minute. Thanks, everyone. Okay, I think we can go ahead and get started now. So as per usual, a disclaimer and risk warning before we start. The information is not considered as investment advice or investment recommendation, but instead a marketing communication. Our products are traded on margin and carry a high level of risk, and it is possible to lose all your capital. These products may not be suitable for everyone, and you should ensure that you understand the risk involved. So I'm Melanie and I'll be your speaker for today. I'm an investment analyst at Rocket, who are finalists for Best FX and Equity Research in the years 2019 to 2021. Can everyone hear me clearly? Yeah? Okay, great. Okay, so here's our agenda for today. It'll be a relatively short one today. We'll basically be talking about what are custom indicators on the MT4, what are EAs or expert advisors and the different types of EAs, where do you find them, how do you use them, and how do you backtest them. Okay, um, excuse me, if we have any time at the end of our slides, which I think we should have, I will go through some charts as well. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to use this one instead. Okay, so what are custom indicators on the MT4? So these are basically independently developed by different developers in metacodes, language 4 by a user, and functions as a technical indicator, they're basically graphical displays of custom calculated formulas. So here's an example. You can see for this one, we are using a daily pivot and a weekly pivots indicator. So the purple, if you can't really see clearly, the purple is the daily and the blue line is the weekly pivot. So these are mainly for support and resistance, identifying support and resistance levels, or seeing if there's any levels where we're expecting prices to reverse or bounce off of. And this is a custom all pivots indicator. So this is quite similar to your pivot points indicator that's in TradingView. Basically shows you the different support and resistance levels that you can use. So these are pretty simple indicators. Here's an example of a more complex custom indicator. So this is on MT4, and it's for the pound dollar on the H1 chart. So we can see that for this particular indicator, it uses the MA crossover trend following strategy. So this custom indicator has multiple confluences. So it has your moving average, ADX trend, and trend signaling on the higher time frames. So this shows that custom indicators can be pretty flexible in terms of your confluences, and users can be creative with it if they decide to change or to create their own indicators. So I keep mentioning confluence, but what it basically means is we're basically combining a whole bunch of different indicators together, and it should give you that same signal. So that's confluence. Just give me 1 second. Okay, so what are expert advisors or EAs? So again, they're basically developed in MetaCode's language 4 and 5, software that automates trading functions based on algorithms, notifies traders of trading opportunities, and suggests trades that can be profitable. So here are the different types of EAs. There's the scalping EA, news trading EA, breakouts EA, and hedging EA. Okay, so next is the automatic trading EA. So this one basically, it's quite straightforward. It basically locks in your trades for you whenever you see that, or whenever the algorithm sees that there is a um potential profitable trade. Okay, so here's another example of an automatic trading EA. This is the Meet Algo Breakout EA, and this is on MT4. So you can see here on the pop-up that it tells you the current profit, today's profit, and the weekly profit. It also tells you the status, the your balance, leverage, and so on and so forth. Just all the basic information. Okay, yet another automatic trading EA. This one is Dark Venus. Um, Yeah, so you can see it tells you all of the information here, your account profit loss. This is on the Euro Aus, so it tells you the profit loss on this specific currency that you're trading, your chart profit loss, the drawdown percentage, the spread, and as well as the start lot size. Okay. Okay, so where exactly can you find them, right? So here you go to the MetaTrader market page. Some tips is to purchase from traders, or rather from sellers with good reviews from these traders, and not to be fooled by advertisements, and to test them on your demo accounts first. So you can also get them from Fiverr. Some tips is to engage a coder if you have a specific strategy for your custom EA, or a white label service after licensing your custom EA. You can also go to the Forex Factory website. You guys should be familiar with Forex Factory. We use it almost every webinar when we're looking at the economic events for the week. So they also provide a couple of recommendations on expert advisors. Or you could, of course, just Google it. So you can just search free expert advisor for MT4, and then it'll give you a whole bunch of suggestions. Okay, so it's basically designed, it's kind of more of a software tool that's designed for automated trading. So it basically how it works is it analyzes the market conditions, and it makes your trading decisions and executes your trades without any human intervention. So essentially, it is a robot that follows a pre-programmed set of rules to trade financial instruments like your Forex. So some things can include like when to buy or sell, or where to set your stop loss and take profit levels, like what we saw with the pivot points and the pivot levels, and also adjusting your position sizes based on your account balance, which is why there, if we go back to the previous slides, they would also give you some um details on all the information on your leverage as well as your account balance, profit loss, things like that. Okay, so how do you use them? So you basically double click the expert advisor that you want to use. So here we're looking at the CAP breakout expert advisor. So you enable the following options, then you click OK. So we click allow live trading, allow DLL imports, import of external experts, and allow modification of signal settings. And yeah, here we have it. So for this one, we're looking at the Dark Venus EA. Okay. Um, yeah, so what exactly is Dark Venus if you've never heard of it? It's basically a popular automated trading system that's designed for specifically the Forex market. So it's available on MT4 as well. And how it works is it basically, I think it's known for its focus on trend following and reversal strategies, which are strategies that we implement quite a bit. So it utilizes pretty advanced algorithms to identify high probability trading opportunities. So it's often marketed to be quite suitable for both experienced and beginner traders. Some key features that I can think of the top of my head would be um, there's trend and reversal detection. So it works well in volatile market conditions. It has flexible settings, so you can adjust the trading strategy. So you can look at scalping or intraday trading or swing trading. Um, like I mentioned, it's more focused on Forex. So it's capable of trading on multiple Forex pairs simultaneously. So it increases your diversification. Yeah, it also, of course, works on different time frames, like we mentioned, of course, scalping and swing trading, both time frames. And of course, it's automated, so it's completely hands-free operation once you set it up. So it executes your trades for you, manages stop losses, and sets take profit levels autonomously. Okay. Okay, so how exactly do you backtest them? So an overview of backtesting, what exactly it is it allows you to um, simulate the process of trading while using a set of rules over previous price data. So you're using basically historical data to test your strategy. So it allows you to know the behavior of your strategy, fix it, and improve on it. So this is like we mentioned, uses price data to see how much money would have been made or lost if a trader had followed the same strategy. Okay, so it's essentially a retroactive test where a trader enters a set of rules like a currency pair, time frame, and technical indicators. Then the automated backtesting trading system can analyze the tick data and show what would have happened if you had taken that chosen strategy. So some things to look out for would be your net profit or loss, volatility managers, averages, ratios, and annualized return. Okay, and tick by tick backtesting. This involves pretty in-depth data, volume weighted into price, creation of elaborate models, preventing unexpected surprises, and it simulates your trade execution. Okay, so here's a backtest report example. I'll just briefly go through how you can do it yourself. So after you open up your MT4, you can go to the strategy tester panel, um, and then you select the EA that you want to test. Select your currency pair and time frame for testing, and then you configure the testing settings. So this is quite it's up to you. So you can see here the parameters that we're using, the period or the time frame is H1, and the model that we're looking at is every tick. This is completely up to you. Yeah, so I won't tell you exactly how to do that, but you're basically looking at the model. We typically recommend you every tick because it'll give you the most accurate results because it simulates all price movements within a candle. And then you use control points or open prices only. Um, from this, what else can I talk about? The data range, or rather the date range that you're looking at. Um, mm, the deposit size as well. So you can see here the initial deposit here was 10,000. So you can choose a starting balance that reflects your live trading account. Then you can load your historical data. So to do this, you just have to ensure that you have sufficient historical data. You download the data from MT4 and then you upload it. So which is just basically needs to tell you the currency pair and the time frame. That's the most important. Then you run the test. So you just have to click start, and then this is the example of the backtest report with all of the information that you need. So how to analyze the results from the report? So firstly, you want to look at your profit and loss, of course, so that you identify the total net profit over the test period. So that's here. Next is to look at the drawdown. So your drawdown is basically the maximum loss from the peak. So high drawdown indicates higher risk. So that's here, your maximum drawdown. Next would be your win rate. So out of your total trades, your profit trades total was 13 here, 13 out of 28. Okay, so that's your win rate. Then you can also look at your risk reward ratio, um, trade frequency as well. Um, yep, I think that's the most important factors to analyze from your report. Okay. Okay, so there's a lot of words here. I'm just gonna quickly summarize it. Um, but yeah, this is basically what we're talking about in the previous slide. Um, the key points would be your total net profit. So it indicates the potential profitability of a strategy, but it doesn't guarantee future performance. So this just provides an estimate of your potential gains from using the system. Because remember that backtesting is based on previous historical data. So it's not representative of your upcoming data or the potential market conditions. Maximum drawdown, we talked about this earlier, refers to the largest loss experienced by the trading account. in both monetary value and percentage relative to the account balance. Yeah, so we talked about how a lower drawdown is generally preferred because with higher drawdown means higher risk as well. So typically, like we looked at the previous slide, our initial deposit was 10,000. So if your deposit is 10,000 with a risk tolerance of 20%, then your maximal drawdown should not exceed 2,000. Okay, total trades. This is pretty straightforward. Basically, if there are 200 trades in 3 months, it indicates that an average of 3 trades per day, making it suitable for intraday trading. Whereas a smaller number of trades may be better suited for mid-term trading. And profit trades indicates the number and percentage of profitable positions out of the total trades. Okay, so some common backtesting mistakes is to not is looking at unrealistic backtest results, um, don't overmine your data, and getting the timing right, or also using incorrect assumptions. So basically, the best practices for backtesting would be using high quality data. So you can consider using tick data from reliable providers. And you can also look at testing different market conditions. So you want to look at including both volatile and stable periods so that you get the most accurate assumptions. Simulate real spreads and slippages. So you should ensure that your testing environment reflects real world trading conditions. And you want to avoid overfitting parameters to historical data. Because a reason being, it might not perform well when you're actually doing your live trading. So don't over optimize your backtesting settings. Okay, and then after backtesting, you can also conduct a forward test to test the strategy on a demo account in live market conditions. Okay, so how do you backtest them? You open MT4. This is what we talked about earlier. You open MT4, click on the strategy tester button, which is over here. This is only available on the web version, so not on the mobile version of MT4. And then you select your expert advisor from the strategy tester panel. Select the currency pair and the time frame that you want for testing. Okay, and then you configure your testing settings. So I mentioned earlier, we normally will use every tick for the most accurate results. We only use control points or open prices only. That's faster, but it's less detailed. Then you select your date range, and your deposit size. Okay, select your EAs, set your dates, press start over here. Okay, and here's your graph tab. Okay, and the results tab will just be right below your screen. So it gives you the profit, your closing balance, um, yep, your lot size, and your type of order. Okay, the report tab, we talked about this earlier as well. So you want to make sure that you look at these for here: total net profit, profit factor, absolute drawdown, and the total trades. So this is exactly what it looks like on MT4. Okay, if you're not familiar with MT4, we'll just do a brief introduction. Okay, so this is what it looks like when you log in. So MT4 is quite widely used for Forex and CFDA trading mostly. So it's a user-friendly interface. It has pretty advanced charting tools, and it also allows for EAs, which is helpful, and also backtesting. So this is what it looks like. Our top 6 tips for MT4 is to use the MetaTrader market scanner. You can also use Market Watch. That's quite the same thing. It basically displays live price codes for various instruments, and you can right click to add or remove instruments so that you can see it all in one glance. You can also create custom indicators, use your EAs, which we've been talking about. You can also manage your risk, and we go through a bunch of risk management strategies throughout our webinars. Stay disciplined and have realistic expectations. Okay, so if you're a beginner, I think our first tip would be to start with a demo account, and then learn technical analysis as you go, and use risk management, of course, set up your stop loss and take profit levels for every single trade, and avoid over trading as well. So you want to make sure that you stick to your trading plan and avoid emotional decisions. Yeah, you can also explore educational resources like these webinars, um, that give you kind of an insight into the different kinds of strategies that you can implement. Yeah, there are a lot of strategies that we go through in all of our webinars. So just pick those that stick with you, that you've tried on the demo account and that you like, and then you're pretty much good to go. So here's one example of a trade management technique that you can use. This is trade management with Confluence. So I did talk about Confluence earlier to be when I'm talking about different indicators that you can use that give you the same signal. Here we're talking about Fibonacci confluence, which is basically when 2 or more Fibonacci levels line up in that same area. Yeah, that's what we call a confluence area. Okay, so how we use Fibonacci confluence with trade management is to combine these with our stop loss and take profit levels. So for stop loss, we would always place our stop loss beyond a key Fibonacci confluence area. Reason being is that price is attracted to such strong areas of Fibonacci confluence. So if your stop loss is right before it instead of beyond it, you'll most likely get stopped out before the market reverses. Next is your take profit. We place it before a key Fibonacci confluence area. Reason being, when price reaches this area, there's a high chance it won't be able to go beyond it. And instead of reaching your profit target, it reverses back to your entry or even worse, your stop loss. And that's one of the reasons why people complain that the market is being manipulated because they miss their take profit by 1 pip. Okay, so this example here at the bottom is if we're going in for a buy, which is why your take profit is at the top, and this is kind of the placement of your stop loss and take profit in the event of a buy order. Now, in the event of a sell order, this is our proper stop loss take profit technique. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so another thing that you can do, especially if you are a beginner or you want to back test your EAs, is to set up a trading journal. So the first step is to firstly choose a format. So there are a lot of different formats that you can use. Just choose one that suits you. You could write it in the form of a traditional book or traditional notebook. And then, or you can also use an Excel spreadsheet. Yeah, entirely up to you. Next is to decide on the categories. So what exactly are you trying to look at in this case? So if you're looking at back testing your EAs, then that's something that you are looking out for. If you're a beginner and you want some ideas on how to um how to improve your trades or improve your strategy, you would look at your stop loss levels, your strategy, entry and exit prices, position sizes, stop loss, take profit levels, all of those. Yeah. You can also include additional categories like your rationale, the current market conditions, as well as your emotional state. Next is to capture trade details. So you want to record the relevant information of each trade that you make. So be consistent and diligent in entering these details accurately after each trade. So you can include all the predetermined parameters, like we mentioned earlier, your entry and exit points, as well as any adjustments that you made throughout the trade. Number four is analyzing trade performance. So you can regularly review your trading journal to analyze trade performance. So you can look for patterns, trends, and any areas for improvement. So by identifying successful trades and why they worked, it's also important to look at losing trades and the reasons behind your losses. So this analysis will help you to make more data-driven adjustments to your trading strategy. Okay, next is review or reflect on emotional factors. So take note of your emotional state during each trade. So it might seem like a pretty something that you don't really have to record, but these actually play quite a significant role when you're trading because any emotional biases like fear, greed, or overconfidence, once you're able to identify these emotional biases, it can you are able to kind of stop them from influencing your decision making. So it helps you to become more aware of your emotions and develop strategies to manage them effectively. That's also why we talked about discipline earlier on as well. Number six is review and adapt. So obviously after recording your trades, the purpose of that is so that you're able to review it and make adjustments to your strategy as needed. So you can learn from your past experiences and your past trades and identify these areas for improvement and refine your approach. And lastly, maintaining discipline. So stick to discipline of recording each trade and consistently updating your trading journal. So treat it as a crucial part of your trading routine and commit to it consistently. This will ensure that you capture all necessary information and maximize the benefits of maintaining a trading journal. Okay. Next is benefits of a trading journal. I'll just briefly go through this. I think it's pretty straightforward. Firstly is performance analysis. So it allows you to analyze your performance in a systematic and objective manner. So by recording details of each trade, including your entry and exit points, trade duration, outcome, you can evaluate your trading strategy's effectiveness over time. Um, yeah. Next is learning and development. This is pretty straightforward, so I won't dwell on that. Emotional awareness we talked about as well, risk management. Um, so we talked a bit earlier about the different trade management techniques. So we looked at the proper stop loss and take profit placement. But another thing that you can look at, that you can use your trading journal for, is to look at your position sizes as well as where exactly you place your stop loss and take profit levels. So this will help you to analyze the effectiveness of your risk management strategy, and then you can see whether you should make any additional adjustments that are necessary to protect your capital. Next is trade planning and execution. That's pretty straightforward. It basically evaluates the quality of your trade execution and identify areas for improvement. Accountability and discipline, pretty straightforward as well. And lastly, confidence building. So a trading journal definitely helps to boost confidence as a beginner trader. So by documenting your successes and your learnings, you can review your processes, and your progress and build confidence in your trading abilities. Yeah, I think also having a record of your successful trades can serve as a reminder that during, volatile markets, during rather challenging times, reinforcing your belief in your trading strategy. Okay, that's all I have for you guys for today. We still have some time, so I'm going to pull up my charts now and we can take a look at some charts together. In the meantime, you can let me know if you guys have any questions um in the chat. Or if you have any specific requests for charts that you want me to go through, yeah, you can let me know as well. Okay, let's start off by looking at DXY. You guys have any questions about EAs or anything before we get started? No? Okay. Okay, so let's look at how do we get this video, as in this recording of this webinar? I'm actually not sure. I think if you email um I think if you email the support team here, support at IronFX, I think they can help you out. I'm not so sure if they will send over the recording, but this webinar is being recorded. But yeah, just ask them and they'll be able to help you out. Okay, let's look at DXY. So I like to start off by looking at the higher time frames so that we kind of get an idea of the direction that prices are headed towards. So here we have prices moving upwards on a weekly time frame. On our daily time frame, you can see prices moving upwards as well, although there's been a recent drop here. So prices actually broke out of this ascending trend line here. Okay, since prices recently broke out of it, this is giving us a bearish signal here. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with our support and resistance levels. So I'm going to place my first support right where price is currently at. Oops. This should be our first support. Okay, this will be my first resistance and my second support over here. Okay, now I'm going in with my Fibonacci levels. So starting off with a retracement, I have the 23 and 38 that line up nicely. Okay, I think I also have this Fibonacci extension here. Yeah, my 161 lines up nicely. So this Fibonacci extension technique uses the levels that are more than 100%. So for example, we're looking for kind of this Nike tick shape. So like that. Or if it's inverted, it'll be like that. Something like that. Is there any course regarding technical analysis? Yep, so most of our webinars that we do are, are mostly centered around technical analysis methods. So we look at the different indicators and Fibonacci techniques. So you can stay tuned for those. Which reminds me, can you guys let me know in the chat if there are any specific webinars or topics that you guys want to see in the upcoming months? Um, RSI? Okay, great. Yeah, we can do that. Yeah, so if anybody else as well, if you guys have any topics that you want us to touch on, just let us know in the chat. Yeah, because normally we just kind of um mix it with technical analysis and fundamental analysis webinars or topics. So if there's any specific ones that you want to see, maybe in the upcoming month, just let me know. Okay, yeah, so this is a Fibonacci technique as well, this Nike tick method. So here you can see my 161 lines up nicely with my first resistance. Okay, I'm also gonna use a retracement up here. Mm, okay, no, this is a bit far from where price is at, so I'm gonna get rid of that. Next is I'm gonna check to see if we have a projection. Okay, the 127 lines up, so I'll just keep that. Okay. I think that's all the Fibonacci levels we have. Oh, I think we might have another Nike tick here. Yeah, my 161 lines up as well. Okay, again, we have this Nike tick shape here. Mm, maybe projection. Mm, yep, my 100% lines up nicely. So for projection, we use this lightning bolt kind of shape. Okay. Um, yeah, I think that's all the levels we have. So now let's go into our indicators. So there are a couple of indicators that I personally like to use. To start, I like to use Ichimoku and MACD because at one glance you can tell exactly what the signals are. So here price is moving above the cloud, which is giving us a bearish signal. So I'm going to remove that because it doesn't support our analysis. MACD you can see is giving us a bearish signal, so that does support our analysis. Next, let's look at Bollinger Bands. And Bollinger Bands recently passed below that middle band, which is a sign. But I like to wait for price to push below the bottom band if to show us kind of a stronger signal. So I'm gonna KIV Bollinger Band for now. Let's also look at our moving averages, so EMA, SMA. I also like to use parabolic star. Okay, so you can see, let me zoom in. You can see prices are moving below all three of these indicators, the EMA, SMA, and also the parabolic star, if you see the dotted lines above here. So they all support our analysis. We can also look at RSI and stochastic. These are more momentum indicators. Okay, and stochastic you can see is giving us a bit of this descending trend line, even though prices have been making a higher high, but here stochastic is giving us a lower high, which is a divergence. We'll touch on divergence in the coming webinars. Maybe I'll just briefly explain it. So it's basically when, like I mentioned, prices here are making a higher high, right? But then on our stochastic, it's making a lower high. That basically is a bearish divergence, tells us that prices might continue to drop. RSI, on the other hand, yeah, pretty similar as well. It's also giving us this bearish divergence. Okay, I have some requests in the chat. Fibonacci, RSI, Supertrend, Hagen Aishi, and Bollinger Bands, and SA. Okay, we'll touch on those in the coming webinars. I think in next month's webinars. Or actually, maybe even next week. Okay, so to get back here, I'm expecting prices to continue to drop from the first support to our second support. Okay, just be careful of where prices are currently at, testing this first support because it's in line with an overlap. So it's an overlap support. It's in line with a swing high and a bunch of swing lows. So price could test this level a bit. Okay. Any questions? Okay, I'm just saving all of the requests that you guys have given me for the upcoming webinars. So if you guys have any other requests, feel free to pop them into the chat. If not, that's all I have for you guys for today. Yeah, thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you guys found this session helpful. Have a great rest of your week, and I will see you guys again next week. Thanks, everyone. Bye. Thanks everyone. See you guys next week.